Hello everyone, we're at the Cannes Lion Festival of Global Celebration of Innovation, Creativity and Marketing, and welcome today to the Stagwell Speakers Lounge. This is the place where all the folks, they come off the stage and they come here and give us an inside look of what's happening at Cannes, so this is a proper behind the scenes, if you will. I'm Anas Ghazi with Stagwell and I lead our global affiliate program, a program that now has more than 60 independent agencies across more than 65 countries with boots in the ground with a team of about 12,000 people. And today, I'm joined by the team at Talon, and nothing but the best, Barry Cupples and Dan Dawson. All right, there should be an applause for that. So, woo! As Mark knows, I'm all about the cheering. So, gentlemen, in 30 words or less, tell me about yourself.
Dan.
That's one of your words.
You've used up one word. I lead everything creative at Talon and Grand Visual, which is the newly acquired business within Talon, making sure everything looks and feels amazing when it's out of home.
Hi, I'm Barry Cupples, the CEO of Talon Group. I'm responsible for the growth, so the openings in Singapore and Dubai kind of just underpin that, growth in America, and having brilliant partners like you guys.
All right, so speaking about partnership, we collaborate together on a Stagwell level to bring out of home to our overall network. Recently, we had some press about a deeper next turn of the screw, if you will, with a partnership between Assembly, which is our media agency, and Talon. Tell me more about that partnership and why this is the right moment to bring out of home.
Well, we're in an interesting moment, aren't we, with media? There's lots of speculation about who will survive and the new networks like yourself coming in to join the fray. You're going to have to do it slightly differently because we both trod a path and we know what that one is. I don't think the world's ready for somebody to join at that level with that kind of offering. You guys have got a different offering. Assembly are fantastic. What a great brand. So we're really pleased to be partnering because I think it's got a great future.
All right. So tell me more about how Talon is making out of home more relevant.
Through this guy, that's one of the answers. So when we bought the company that Dan previously owned, what we wanted was to make sure, like you guys, that you've got an offer which is end-to-end. We say it a lot, but genuinely that within your own stack you can do full creativity to go with your out-of-home, because it's all very much about creativity, and that's what we got with Dan. We bought a company that were the most dynamic in its field, already renowned and ready for scaling.
Yeah, I think, for me, great creativity in out-of-home and for our business is about creating relevancy with audiences, for brands in the out-of-home space. So trying to marry those things up means intelligence and smarter behaviours for advertising networks. And it's not something traditional out-of-home has been famed for, but now with digitisation, I think we're able to get there and we can create that relevancy with consumers. And I think that contextuality is super important for every brand in out-of-home.
So I'm going to take that a step further.
Go.
Last night, we were talking about the intersection of out-of-home and voice.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting into podcasts. Tell me more about that intersection and why is that important now?
Well, I think out-of-home is always going to be a canvas, and I think when you see what's won last night in outdoor, it was a fantastic campaign for Adidas. They've built a billboard, but they've created this whole narrative around it where they've got user-generated content, they've created posters out of the poster. I think great out-of-home is now omnichannel. It doesn't just sit as an isolated poster or an isolated billboard in a random location. It's part of a bigger conversation with a consumer group or an audience. So going multi-channel, whether that's podcast, gaming, mobile activation, or something digital on out-of-home, I think it's, every brand and everyone who wants to win here at Cannes should be thinking about how long the conversation goes on and what other channels that they can activate on.
It's really interesting in that because you and I trod an agency path for best part of 2 decades. But actually the truth
Not
is,
me, but yeah.
We're still young. We're still young. You're younger than me,
2
especially in those
decades.
pants. The reality of what Dan just said, it kind of is a bit of a cliche, forgive me, but our past always defines our future. What's happened before in Out of Home, that award win last night for Grand Prix is about the 5th time in 10 years and the 17th time in 35 years that Out of Home has won the Grand Prix at this event. And it's not a surprise because even back then it was bringing together lots of different facets before we ever knew what Omnichannel was. And I still think that's very relevant today because we joined the digital table, we joined the technology table, we joined the programmatic table, we joined the data game. add all of the things that Dan just said, and we are playing at the big table in a way that out of home's never done before. It's important.
So we've collaborated on brands such as Converse, Lenovo, really taking it to the next level. In the last, I'd say, the last 24 to 36 months, has there been a resurgence of out of home, and did COVID play a role in that?
I'll go first, and I think Dan's point here, because what happened at Talon is we used the creative model that Dan's in charge of to supercharge the renaissance that you hear us talk about a lot in out of home. We have joined the Omnichannel table, we do have data, we have outcomes based, we have things to prove it, so we're as good as any. I measured all the others, I bought all the others as you did. We joined that table. The resurgence is there, renaissance is happening, all the great things about our home are still true, but they're now amplified with outcomes to prove the value of the medium. It helped, it's a weird thing to say, but COVID helped because the world of out of home couldn't be out of home, we were all in home. But whilst we came out, urban became local, and local for communication became, the medium became out of home, and we really worked it. But it was because the creative angle, we took a different view with the guys. We tried to be ultra creative to get people sharing. We haven't cracked it, but the social side to out of home is massive growth, and that's where we're going to target a lot of our creativity in the coming years.
I would say the proof is in what's won last night in outdoor.
Right.
I think 12 months ago when we were talking about what's happening in outdoor, I mean, you think about Dove that won, there were, the campaigns that were winning were clearly COVID-based creative. And this year, it's not, none of the campaigns that have won the big metal have been, we've been through a terrible 2 years.
Right.
The shift has changed, and that proves that out of home is growing again. So Adidas we talked about, but chill boards, which is a fantastic thing from Coors Light, where they painted the black roofs of buildings that were basically creating heat and making people turn up their aircon higher, which was obviously ruining the environment. They painted them white with these big chill letters. It's incredible, but that one. So there's these outdoor campaigns, nothing to do with it's cause-led marketing, but it's not about COVID anymore. It's about using the outdoor medium and canvas for creative good, and I think that's a phenomenal effort after what we've been through.
So we've spoken about several brands. What would be your advice to brands in terms of how and when they should bring out of home into their marketing mix?
We're going to be again.
We're going to say the same thing.
We're going to say the same. Look, so I'd come at it from a different angle, so you can say what we would normally say. And it is a bit of a cliche because we are saying the same thing because it's true. But at the moment, what we're looking at is a value equation which is tougher to work in than ever before, because you've got lots of people with omnichannel tooling, be it Merkle, be it Axiom, be it whatever it is, that costs hundreds of millions, if not billions of pounds. So they're doing a job in, we'll call it modelling, which has taken the game to another level because it's data infused, and we're in that game. So I'd say to clients, you've got to understand the value equation. There's a lot to be had because you've got these add-ons through social, which add to your value because there's a return path, and you've got the creativity, which is people sharing it as well as people seeing it and just being in wonderment at how good your messaging is. And you've got this whole, remember, we've always had fame and you've got very quick reach. So I think the medium's in genuine renaissance mode. What we've got to do is get better at understanding the value equation to clients, because I still don't think they get it fully, and let them understand how much creativity matters.
I think there's been, over the last maybe 3 years, there's been a convergence of digital technologies into outdoor, out of outdoor and back into other channels. And I think what you're seeing now, I talked about earlier on, but omnichannel campaign planning is happening at the earliest stage. The most successful campaigns happen when you think about the full picture, not bolt on out of home because we've got some extra budget to spend. Not, oh, we've got an activation we're running here, how can we amplify it in out of home? It's all together. So thinking about it all together means that talking about it at the same time, at the point of briefing, when you bring on your partner to talk about either the creative idea or the media planning side of things, it should happen holistically.
Just to add to that, Dan, and that's, I know we're pushed for time, but I just want to give you an example to you guys who are all Stagwell individuals. We challenged you guys through Anas and then John and the team, all of the brands. You shouldn't be adding out of home because you've got 10% of budget left, and that's the natural. It should be, what do we want to do as an objective for this client, and how are we going to talk to the audience in a way that they're going to get them to react? That's the funnel. The funnel is to get the client to, the consumer, to react in a way that you want to, which is purchase product. Our game is top line, growth, bottom line effect. People forget that. We challenge you guys. Your teams have come back They have not added, that's what I've seen so far, out of home as a bolt-on. They've thought about how can they take messaging to the client, and it might start with out of home, and that's the challenge, to keep it there, that it's, to Dan's point, not a bolt-on, but a standalone for all of the right reasons.
Brilliant. I'm going to do a quick rapid fire with you folks. So you're going to answer it quick. Don't think about it. And we're going to see if the truth comes out here. Ready? Dogs or cats?
Cats.
Dogs.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Summer.
Burgers and fries or fish and chips?
Burger and fries.
Burger and fries.
Shocked. Out of home or voice?
Out of home.
Out of home.
All right. Okay. Now for our viewers, for our final question. If you had known one thing now that back then, what was the best piece of professional advice you would have given yourself?
That's as tough as hell, and I'm going to go with, forgive me, a bit of a cliche. My mum told me when I was 19, if I want to have any career whatsoever, treat others as you want to be treated yourself. Best bit of advice I've had.
I would say, I mean, it comes down to creative, and I've been very fortunate to have a couple of really good creative mentors. But don't be afraid. There are certain times, I think, early in your career, you're too afraid to give the idea, think you're going to step on someone's toes. Like, don't be afraid, because I think creativity is a democracy, and if everyone's idea has equal value, all ideas can get better. So don't be afraid to speak your mind.
What would you say, Nas?
Oh my goodness. I would say pick leaders, not roles. Because leaders not only make your careers, they also create lifelong relationships. And in this industry, we are a relationship-based business.
Love that.
So with that, thank you for joining us
Thank you,
backstage.
guys.
To learn more about Stagwell as we transform marketing, follow us at Stagwell on LinkedIn and on Twitter. And thank you. And remember, pink pants are for everyone. Be well.